Florida is one of the best states for bicycling, and among the worst for bicycling casualties. The Bicycle Law Enforcement Program was developed at the request of the law enforcement community and has been created with the advice and assistance of those officers and the Florida Bicycle Association. It will provide a base level of understanding of the laws and their practical application, and assisting you by helping understand why bicyclists do what they do and the laws that support those actions. The laws are difficult and confusing, and in the past, most officers receive no formal training. This program will enable you to identify the unlawful actions of cyclists that result in their deaths and injuries. Understanding of the laws and safe cycling practices will enable consistent and effective enforcement and education in the laws related to bicycling. The result of your participation in this program will be a confident understanding of the laws as they apply to your involvement with the incidents relating to bicycling. Your uniform application of the laws will improve Florida's reputation through reduced casualties and will enhance the quality of life in your community. The materials will be continuously updated and improved based on your input. Please provide your comments in the survey and to your training officer after this segment. Your participation in this program is very much appreciated. This is the first of multiple sections that discuss cyclists legally leaving the right side of the roadway. Some are clearly specified in the statutes and require no explanation. Others are more complex and require understanding other statutes and safe cycling practices. This section discusses some of the reasons that are clearly defined in the statutes. Number 1. Understand the wording in the statutes that allows cyclists to leave the right side of the roadway. Number 2. Review definitions that apply. Number 3. Understand the reasons that are clearly stated in the statutes about passing, traffic speed, left turns, and multi-lane, one-way roadways. We will talk about unsafe conditions in later sections. The statute that discusses a cyclist at the right side of the roadway refers to the cyclist's right to use the roadway. The roadway is the paved portion of the highway to the left of the curb, or lateral edge line. In these cases, the roadway is obvious. The statutory definition of roadway is the portion of the highway ordinarily used for vehicular travel. The statute continues and specifically excludes the paved shoulder. The paved shoulder is not part of the roadway. Cyclists may use a paved shoulder but are not required to do so. We will discuss that in the section on bicycle lanes. When required, the cyclist's obligation to keep right is predicated on faster traffic being present. The purpose of the keep right provision of the law is to maintain efficient traffic flow when safe. If there is no other traffic flow and no potential to impede other traffic unjustly, there is no requirement to keep right. When the roadway is wide enough to safely share the lane, or when there are adjacent lanes, slower traffic should, if safe, keep to the right to facilitate efficient traffic flow. If the cyclist is traveling at a speed less than the normal speed of traffic and is not impeding the progress of other traffic, there is no requirement to keep right. When otherwise riding legally, cyclists will sometimes temporarily delay other drivers. That is not unlawful. We will discuss that in a later section. Many cyclists are capable of maintaining the same speed as other traffic. These cyclists are not restricting normal traffic flow and are safely passing the other vehicles. The cyclists are not required to keep right. It may be unsafe for a cyclist traveling at higher speeds to stay at the rightmost edge of the roadway. In this case, the cyclists are maintaining the same speed as other traffic and are not required to keep right. We have been talking about cyclists traveling at the same speed or faster than other traffic. We will now discuss cyclists traveling slower than the normal speed of traffic. There are exceptions to the keep right rules that apply only when traveling slower than other traffic. The laws and the cyclist's rights and duties are all based in a common sense understanding of cyclists safely sharing the roads with larger and faster vehicles. Too often, cyclists, motorists, and officers tend to stop reading at keep right and believe that is always the requirement. Understanding the exceptions is essential to understanding cyclists' legal road position. They may not consider the many circumstances when the cyclist must change lane position. The bicycle regulation statute describes the situations when a cyclist is not required to keep right when traveling slower than the normal speed of traffic. When the cyclist is not required to keep right, the statutes do not define the portion of the roadway that can be used. The statutes recognize that the cyclist must have the discretion to use the part of the roadway needed to remain safe. In some situations, that may be the entire lane. A cyclist is not required to keep right when passing another vehicle. A cyclist need not keep right when preparing for a left turn. Another statute provides more detail about bicyclists preparing to turn left and states that the bicyclist may use the full lane from which the turn is to be made. In the statutes that address bicyclists preparing for a left turn, there is no stated limitation to the distance required for the bicyclist to prepare to make that turn. The statutes recognize that the cyclist may need to take advantage of the gaps in busy traffic and move to the left lane well ahead of the actual turn. Another subsection in the bicycle regulations permit the use of the left lane even when the cyclist is not preparing for a left turn. A cyclist may always use the left lane of a multi-lane, one-way roadway. In this section, we discuss some of the reasons for lane positioning by a cyclist that are clearly stated in the statutes. They are passing another vehicle, preparing for a left turn, traffic speed, and using the left lane of a one-way, multi-lane roadway. In the next section, we will cover unsafe conditions that require lane positioning by a cyclist.